Hello, everybody, and welcome to Amazon Bundling Like a Boss. Tonight's presentation is an overview of Amazon bundling with some specific techniques on what bundles are, how you can create them, what Amazon's policy is, and some strategies for finding bundle ideas. So let me go ahead and show you the presentation without further ado. So let me pull up the chat. All right, so if there's any questions, please go ahead and type those in the chat. I will get to those at the end. That's it, really. So Amazon bundling, what is that? So a lot of people think bundles are for some smaller sellers, think bundles are for big sellers. Some big sellers think they're for little sellers. But I actually think bundles are for every seller. However you source, you can be bundling every brand, meaning if you're a brand owner, not saying you should bundle every brand. And the point of a bundle, which is to just make the customer's life easier. And that's it's really important to remember that. Because a lot of times we talk about ways to protect your bundles, how to keep other people off your listing, how to make sure your bundles rank well, and all these other things are important, but the most important thing is that all the products in your bundle serve the customer. And this is Jeff Bezos himself, his drawing, so the customer experience, the virtuous cycle it's called. So we are part of that virtuous cycle when we help with the customer experience. So large Amazon businesses can maximize their ROI and product selection by creating bundles with their products. Private labelers can turn one SKU into many, and also can solve customer problems, the same thing we do with every other kind of bundle. Smaller sellers can develop listings and product offerings that are valuable and profitable with products sourced in a variety of ways. So you can include arbitrage, wholesale, private label, all in one bundle. And it really gives you a lot of power as a small seller to provide something awesome for the customer that a lot of times bigger brands just don't take the time to do. And for bigger brands, it's a great way to serve your customers better. So the Amazon bundling policy is pretty clear. I suggest you read it. It does change occasionally. I don't care if you watch this, if you take a class, if you take a free class, if you take an expensive class, whatever you do, you are responsible for knowing what the Amazon policy is. So you can create bundles composed of different products to create a new bundled product. That's what a bundle is. It provides convenience and value to the buyer. And this is really important. Bundles must consist of items that are highly complementary. So you can read through this. It's all in Seller Central, so go ahead and do that at your own leisure, but definitely read it. So I've broken down bundle types into a couple different types. This one I like to call the kitchen sink, meaning it's basically got like everything in it but the kitchen sink. So sometimes when people bundle things, they put a ton of products in the bundles. And these are just some bundles I found on Amazon. I don't have any affiliation with any of the products I'm going to show you in the presentation tonight. So I think doing a bundle with lots and lots of things in it can be great, but just make sure that each and every item adds value to the customer and adds 3 times its value to the cost of the bundle. So if it costs you $5 to buy it, it should add $15 to the perceived value of the bundle. And then bundles can be a simple utilitarian set of just a couple of items. Sometimes as few as 2 that just make life easier for the customer. So rather than having to buy the ink, refills, and the pen separately, it's all in one place. 2 different kinds of wire cutters. So it's just, again, this is another area where I see sellers sort of overthink it sometimes with bundles. They're trying to do really fabulous, amazing things. And sometimes a really simple utilitarian bundle sells really well. It serves a customer. It's easy to source, so it can be great. So we're going to talk about how do you start thinking of a bundle? How do you get the idea for it? So in this first example here, I'm going to show you as if I was able to wholesale the sriracha mug. So I'm going to assume I got a catalog and this sriracha mug was in the catalog. And I'm like, ooh, I wonder what should I bundle this? So I look up the sriracha mug on Amazon. I see that it's got a great rank. And, you know, I don't know what I'm wholesaling it for, so I can't really talk about the profit because this is a fictitious example. But what would I bundle it with? Well, somebody's probably drinking coffee in this coffee cup. So I looked up flavoring syrups and I found a popular simple syrup with chilies in it, which seems to kind of fit the sriracha theme. And then I found some red drinking straws, not drinking straws, stirring straws, sorry. So these are all themed. They're red, they're spicy, they're hot. I haven't actually tried to get these wholesale, but these are all the types of products I have seen available for wholesale. So I have many times sourced a bundle where I found something like I was like, okay, I need to find some hot chili syrup that I can wholesale. And so there's a lot of ways to find wholesale products. One of them is just to look for a really specific product. And you can Google it. And the more specific you can be when you're Googling wholesale items, the more likely you are to find a good supplier. So I think it's very likely that you could get this Royal Rose syrup wholesale. And the plastic stirrers you could get from almost any restaurant supply store. So this is just an example of how you could start with one product and figure out some stuff that goes with it. Make sure that everything in your bundle, to the extent that you're able, is also popular. So you can see that each one of these 3 items has a good rank on Amazon, and so it's likely that the customer will want to buy all of them together. I saw other chili syrups that did not have as good rank, so I specifically looked for bundle components, which are things customers already want to buy. So that's starting from a product, right? Where you have this catalog maybe, or you are at a show and you see a thing and you're like, okay, what do I do now? So that's one way. The next thing is, what if you get a catalog or you get an email or whatever, or you're just shopping and you see a brand? So how do you start from a brand? Well, you can actually, there's some software that will allow you to upload like UPCs and pull data from Amazon. I've tried most of it. It kind of works. It's very dependent on basically how good a job the people did when they put in those listings in the UPCs. So it's really unreliable. But you can put in just a brand name into Amazon search and see what comes up. So I use this. This is a popular plush brand called Aurora that I do know you can wholesale. I've seen them at the America's Mart. So I would just look them up and I would see their top selling products, what's popular, and then think about bundles to go with them. So that's kind of how you start from a brand. You pull up the brand, you look at what's popular, kind of think of some natural ways to solve customer problems. Now, truthfully, I haven't actually done any plush bundles. I know people who have, especially for like Valentine's Day and Easter, but there you have it. So this is just how you would start from a brand. The other thing I want to point out to you is that when you do a search, you will get a number of results. That's really important. We're going to come to that in a little bit. You can start from an event, a birthday, a wedding, a vacation, a holiday. These are all things people have celebrations for, and it can be a great way to put together products that customers want. Party supply bundles and other kind of decoration style bundles can be a great way, especially if you're arbitraging, to get started with bundles. And as you can see, there's some very popular ones here that are doing very well. So you can start from a theme. In this case, the theme I used was a stuffed Yeti. And I don't actually remember how I got the idea to do this search, but this is a theme. What are people searching for? A type of product. You could search for a sriracha mug. You search for hot chili seasonings and see what comes up. So there's all sorts of themes you can search under. So in this case with Stuffed Yeti, we see that there are, so remember I told you the results are important. You want to look for something that has under 4,000 results-ish, because it means it's not super saturated. If you put in a search and there's like 50,000 results, then it's going to be really hard for you to make a dent in that search result. But Stuffed Yeti only has 216 results. So chances are good if you wrote a really good listing and had a great bundle, you could actually get listed on the first page of results here. And you can also see that some of the results have good ranking. So that's another one. If there's very few results, but none of them rank well, it means nobody is buying that. So that's just a few ways to kind of get you started on research. You can also start from data. Now there's some great paid tools out there. I actually am not a huge fan of starting out with a bunch of paid tools, partially because if you don't really understand how the tools work, it's really hard for you to understand if it's worth paying for them. And the other thing is that you become sort of dependent on them. You don't really know why. If you are going to get a paid tool, there's some great ones out there. Just make sure you budget time to learn how to use them. So you will have a learning curve, and make sure you budget time for that. I just want to welcome the new people that joined in live. Thank you guys for joining. We're going to have questions at the end. So I'm really a big fan of this search expander extension, which I'm going to give you a link to later. But one thing you can do is start to search for products based on data. Brand analytics, which comes with brand registry, is fantastic for this. Got auto-populate can be a great way to start to find things that people are searching for, how many results there are, and if the results have good rank. Okay. So if you start from your product, especially if you're a private labeler, you might want to think about how can you turn one SKU into many? Hold on one second. How can you turn one SKU into many? So take your product and bundle it with a couple different items, whether they're also private label, or maybe they're wholesale, or maybe they're even arbitrage. And this will give you more SKUs, it will give you more ways to reach your customer and more opportunities to test. The smartest private labelers I know also bundle. I've heard people say things like, well, I don't need a bundle, I do private label. And I'm like, I don't even understand that sentence, because really you should be doing both, because it's a powerful way to fully leverage the product that you've already created. And these are just some bundles that I saw clearly created out of private label products. So I showed you how to start from a product, how to start from data, how to start from a theme. The next thing you want to see is how to just start from niche discovery. So a niche is a specific group of customers that are buying a certain thing or specific interest area. So you want to learn about niches and what do people want. A great way to do that is Facebook groups. And, you know, join some interest groups, lurk, do not participate, but just read the posts and start to see what people like who are into that thing. I have a couple of examples here of groups that are huge. This one on off-grid living is over 400,000 members. There's one on ferrets that has over 22,000 members. This pug owners community has over 8,000 members. So that's great customer data that you can acquire. Another little trick when you join a Facebook group, in addition to reading a lot of the posts, is to do a search in Facebook for gift, birthday, and anniversary. When people are in these communities, a lot of times they will share, hey, look what my husband gave me for my birthday. And so they're showing you bundle ideas. Basically, what do they love? What are they so excited that they received that they are sharing it on social media? And Pinterest can be a good source of bundle ideas as well. You can use this extension called Pin on Top, which shows you repins and shares. And there's some others. These change a lot because Pinterest has changed their algorithm a lot. So I would just say if you're going to start digging into Pinterest, you probably need to like look at current information on that. I don't use Pinterest a whole lot, but it can be a great resource. So if that appeals to you, you should definitely use that to discover niches as well. Hobbies. There's a list of like 5 gazillion hobbies just on Wikipedia for free that you can then click on each one and learn more about. And all of those hobbies have people who buy stuff. So there's couponing, cross stitch, cryptography, knife making, lace making. So there's even people who are into lock picking. So, you know, learn about some hobbies, join the Facebook group, see what people are up to, see what they buy together, and create some bundles. This chart, it's kind of hard to read, but it's also just like a list of hobbies that people in America have. And includes everything from yoga to hiking to dancing, hunting. There's just so many different hobbies out there. So that's another place you can find bundle ideas. So start researching some hobbies. You can find ones you're kind of interested in or ones you're not at all interested in personally and you just want to learn about the hobby. Sports, another great source of bundle ideas. These are just some popular sports in America. And, you know, there's a lot of sports people do like at home or in social settings that maybe aren't like Olympic sports, but they still buy stuff for them. Is ping pong an Olympic sport? I don't know, maybe. What's that one called where you throw the bean bags into the big rectangle with the hole in it? I've seen so many of those that are themed. Cornhole, thank you. That's just an example. There's so many different sports out there that people, lawn darts is another one. Yes. So that people can private label bundle. There's just great ideas out there. Ethnic groups. We all have celebrations, whether you're Christian or Jewish or Muslim, or you come from, your heritage is from another country, or you're directly from another country. You are celebrating your holidays. We're celebrating our religious holidays, our ethnic holidays, our cultural holidays, just eating the foods and drinking the drinks of our native land and our culture. So these are all bundle opportunities. And one of the great things about all the amazing different kinds of people that live here in this country is they all like to have different things for their holidays, their events, their celebrations. So bundles are a great way to bring people together. Yay. So check that out. I've done some Asian bundles that have sold really well for Asian holidays. So just an example right off the top of my head. I kind of went over religions. Jewish, Christian are kind of big religions in this country, but there's a lot of other religions in this country, and they all have, to quote my Jewish grandmother, they all have tchotchkes. So whether you're learning about a new religion or just honoring your own religion, just go ahead and find some great bundles for people who celebrate all the different ways you can celebrate. Okay, so promotional products. These can be another source of sort of poor man's private label. You can either sell these things alone or bundle them with other products. You can have products made in low-ish quantities, less than 100 units, and if you're supplying the artwork, nobody else can order that from a wholesale supplier and copy it. So it gives you kind of ownership of the listing of your bundle if you have one promo product in there that nobody can really get the artwork for. This is just some examples of some dishwasher magnets that are on Amazon. They're, to me, all look like they were printed in promotional places. There's one that's in vagrant violation of licensing laws, the Star Wars one. But This is just an example. If you go to For Imprint or Discount Mugs or any of these big promo product websites, there's thousands of products you can look at and research, and it's all about going back to serving the customer. I saw some really cool 12-step celebration, like sobriety pens. I mean, you know, so it's for writing in your journal and stuff like that. And so it celebrates your journey on the 12-step journey. There's just so many niches out there. So just find out about those, and you can apply those to promo products. You can use a website like Fiverr to get these things, the artwork done, and go. I would say in general, if you're ordering promotional products, to stay away from things that are also available in print on demand. A lot of people are exploring print on demand right now, and it's just, there's a lot of competition, and a lot of people are not caring about making a profit. So it's kind of hard to compete in print on demand right now. That's things like merch, Kindle Direct Publishing, and then there's just thousands of products on like Cafe Press and all these sites. So not saying don't do print on demand, but I'm saying if you are doing promotional products, take advantage of the fact that you can get products there that you can't get via print on demand. So once you have come up with your bundle idea, you've researched all the components, they're all popular, then the listing. Now we have a great class on this called Amazon Listings Demystified that teaches you how to write the listing both from a human perspective and from a computer algorithmic perspective. It's an amazing class. Actually, Alex Howard, who is in the audience, developed the core content, and then I created the class. But regardless of whether you take the class, here are some listing basics for you. Make sure you have a good photo. One of the problems I see a lot of bundlers do is they take their own picture of the whole bundle. So they like set it up in their living room and take a picture of it. And unless you're a professional photographer, really hard to take a good bundle picture. So photograph or use manufacturer photos of each item individually, combine them in Photoshop or whatever your graphic software is. Do not try to shoot them live unless you actually know how to shoot stuff photographically, because it's really tough to do that well. Your listing should show benefits and features. So it's not just this is a 3-inch pen, but this pen will help you express your journey in your journal. So you want to kind of give people an idea of what they're using the bundle components for. Always try to pre-answer any questions people might have in your photographs and in your text. If you're writing a bundle, you want your first bundle to list every single item that's in the bundle. They don't all have to be in the title, or if they're in the title, they can be summed up. So you can say pink pen, and then in the first bullet, you can say pink fine tip Sharpie, right? So you don't have to go, I've seen such incredibly long titles. It doesn't necessarily help you in search. It doesn't help with anything. It just confuses the customer. So put all the detailed listings of your products in your bundle, either in the first bullet or the first and second, depending how many you have. Learn about indexing. Indexing is kind of where the computer system knows what words are in your listing. And you can test indexing by typing in the ASIN for your product and each individual word alone or as a phrase, and it'll either say, yes, this product exists, or 0 results found. So that's a really quick listing summary. The title is really important. It's important to have your top keywords in the title. And I've been finding lately, it's also really a great idea if your title can either be exactly the same as or as close as you can get it to something people are already searching for. So use auto-populate to see what the title of your listing is, if you can, as much as possible. And keep in mind when you have a product that it may have alternate uses. So these are 4 different boxes that look almost identical to me, but they're all for very different things. So I just wanted to give you this example of how you could either use the same product in different bundles for different purposes, or how you can just get creative about something that may seem like it's for one thing, but you could really use it for something else. Make sure you look at comps, meaning look at similar listings, read the reviews. I see a lot of stuff in groups about, well, how can I quickly write a listing, and how can I quickly do keyword research, and how can I quickly do this? And the fact of the matter is that writing a good listing takes time. So I don't know anybody, even the best listing writers I know, who have the best software tools, who are super duper smart people, who can write a listing in under 30 minutes. So if it's taking you like 3 or 4 hours to write a listing, that's probably about right. So especially when you're starting out, you're going to want to write, you're going to want to read reviews on similar products and see what people are saying. What words are they using? This is an example from a duck decoy. And one of the things I thought was interesting is one of the people in the reviews wrote about how they use it to keep their dog out of the pond. So that's not the use that the product was originally intended for. So make sure you're looking not just for the words, but also what uses people use those products for. Okay, UPCs is a big one people ask about with bundles. That has changed. So if you watch any like bundling training from like 2 years ago, you should probably ignore whatever it says, including my own training. They have changed the DTIN exemption policy. It's really easy to apply now. It's for your, it's by category. So if you're selling in kitchen and home, you would, or home and kitchen, you would apply for an exemption for a brand in that category. If you're bundling, you want to apply for your brand, like Cordelia's Gifts, not Hasbro or Lego, okay? Now it does say in the policy that you can use a generic brand, like literally the word generic, but I will tell you that anecdotally, we've heard that people have trouble getting those listings approved. So I suggest you go ahead and pick a brand name. It doesn't have to be brand registered. It doesn't have to be like trademarked or DBA or anything like that. Do search and make sure nobody else is using it. But go ahead and use, you know, Michelle's Gifts, Cordelia's Gifts, Dwayne's Gifts, whatever thing you want to do. You can keyword your brand name if you want. If you do automotive bundles and you want to do, I don't know, cars are fun, whatever. So use your brand name, but go ahead and apply for a GTIN exemption, and then you can just list products without a UPC code. And I have a separate video on how to do that. It's a little more detailed, but this is an overview. And the instructions in Seller Central are pretty specific and clear if you want to just follow through. Pay-per-click. Because I'm speeding through this. Pay-per-click is a huge topic. There's trainings just on pay-per-click. I want to give you a few tips for pay-per-click in your bundles. Number one, for a new campaign, do not spend more than $1 a day, okay? Because you can easily just suck away your money on ads. Amazon will gladly take your ad money. There's a new kind of ad called ASIN ads where you, instead of using keywords like whatever, duck decoy, you actually run against the specific ASIN for the duck decoy. So you can take the best-selling duck decoys, put those ASINs in the ads. In the targeting, sorry, and then target those in your ads. So we have seen the best results with those type of ads lately because it's new, I think. And if you're bundling, make sure you run these ASIN ads against all the ingredients in your bundle. So if you're doing that sriracha bundle, you'd want that ad to pop up when people are just looking at the mug, when they're just looking at the syrup, and when they're just looking at the stirring straws. So run against other bundles that are popular and run against the ingredients of the bundle. This is basically what I just covered. The biggest thing with bundles is discipline and action. So I think classes are terrific. The best success I've seen people have is we did a bundle mastermind earlier this year. I'm happy to do another one. That took place over 12 weeks, I think. So we would do like a section on one thing, and then people had 2 weeks to actually do their homework, practice that one thing, and learn it, and then come back with their questions. So you don't have to take a class to do that. You can do that on your own, but it takes discipline. So set goals for yourself about how many bundles you want to launch, whether it's 1 a week or 10 a month. I promise you that you will probably not be successful with every one you launch in the first month. So if you are, yay, and then just keep going. It helps to have a buddy to be accountable to. Learn from everything you do, whether it's a success or a failure. Just try to learn from it for the next time. And there's no course you can take that will replace experience. So they can help you have a better experience. They can help you laser focus. I'm a big believer in courses, but a lot of people take courses and they think, especially if they take a super duper expensive course, that it will make it so they don't make mistakes. And that's just not true. So you will make mistakes no matter what course you take. So just learn from them and just keep practicing, be disciplined. All right, we have a great listings class. We have some, we are not running the bundle master class right now, but I would be happy to run it again. Go ahead and you can just be on our mailing list and then you'll get notified when we do that again. Feel free to PM me or email me if you want me to run that class again specifically. And if you are not already on our mailing list, go ahead and go to scannersociety.com/update me. I personally do one-on-one coaching with people just to help either do bundle reviews, listing reviews, brainstorming, coaching, like action item coaching. What do I do next? Where do I get started? That kind of thing. We have an amazing community. Scanner Society is a group of Amazon sellers, and we all do this crazy thing like help each other. It's a great group, and you can learn more at scannersociety.com/join. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me know what your questions are. Let's see here. Do we have any questions? Did I, like, was it the waterfall where you guys just got overwhelmed, or did you know everything already? Would love to hear your questions if you have any. If not, that's fine. Feel free to comment on the video with your questions. Whether you watch this on Facebook or YouTube later, go ahead and comment, and I will respond to those comments as well. Amazon has Product Photo Studio that provides good results. I've used it and bundle photos look great. Yeah, they do have a photo studio. I will be honest with you, you're like literally the first person I've heard that had a good experience with them taking bundle pictures. So I've heard people have good experiences taking single photos, but most of the people I've heard that use them for bundles, they did a terrible job shooting the bundle. So I think it's great that you used it and had a good experience. You guys should definitely try it out. I forget how much it is. I think it's $50. And they will supposedly provide you with some photography of your products. Oh, he says it's free. Maybe I'm thinking of a different thing. There's a thing where you can send Amazon your product and they shoot it for you. Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about just the photo studio that's in the app? Oh, yeah. Okay. The app has like a photo thing too as well. That's what you're talking about is the app. Amazon actually has a service where they'll take photographs for you. That's what I was talking about. But yeah, the app is great. I try to use manufacturer's photos as much as possible, but if not, I just take pictures with my phone, with one of those little white studio things we have, or just a generic background. Sometimes I take them in the backyard. It really depends on the product. We have, somebody said she has a lot to absorb. She might have some questions later. Are there any more questions about anything? No? All right, well, I'm glad you found this helpful. Please comment. If you're watching the replay, please leave your comments, suggestions, questions. This is a new program we're doing every month called Ecomazon. So I will do a new topic every month. It's free, workshop style, high density learning. So please email me, PM me with your suggestions of what you would like to have as topics, or comment what it is that you're challenged with. And we'll do my best to help you guys. So I hope you all have a super successful fourth quarter. Please stay in touch. Please sign up for our mailing list at scannersociety.com/update me. And I hope you have a great evening. Bye, everybody.